Hey y'all, Coach in the Fight here. Got Shadow Man with me, and we are talking about Pentecost. This is second Pentecost in the year 2021, the 14th day of the third month. Um, and a couple of things I wanted to talk about. Um, um, the first being, is this a real holiday? Second Pentecost. Is it a real thing? I don't have all of the scripture in front of me, but there are scripture that say that there is only one feast of first fruits. It's saying that, I mean, I'll try to find that verse, but I think it's pretty clear that it's saying that there is no two feasts of first fruits like there is two feasts of Passover. So we're in Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 15. Now we're back up there and we're looking at verse 14, which is talking about not eating bread, which is the most significant part of the Feast of Pentecost, is that you actually don't eat any grain products for 50 days. We're talking about bread, cookies, pies, pasta, a lot of candy bars, all kinds of stuff. If it has any kind of corn in it, any kind of grain in it whatsoever, it's forbidden for those 50 days. But anyway, looking at verse 15, it says, "And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete." Now, this is not pinning down a certain day here at all. And I think this is the most significant part of this verse, is that after reading this, one could make the assumption that you can pick your own day, you know? And this is, I believe, how the Catholic Church was able to create their own feast of Pentecost. It's completely separate, completely another day. It is they do completely opposite stuff. The only thing is they have the same name, Pentecost. So this is why we asked the question: is this a real holiday? According to this verse, it is, because you if you did the feast of Passover in the second month, then you also would have done the feast of unleavened bread in the second month. And of course, you're going to do first fruits, if you know about it, in the second month as well. That's just, the flow of things, unless somebody educates you and comes up and tells you, you ain't supposed to do this. Otherwise, I could imagine, a lot of people will do their wave offering on the second month. In the second month, just like they did Pentecost in the second month. Just like they did Passover in the second month. 16 says, "Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall ye number 50 days, and ye shall offer a new meat offering unto the Lord." Okay, so this is today. That's today. Today. That's why I am offering you guys this playlist that talks about Pentecost. I know it's late. I apologize for being late. Our Father has had us working on the calendar. The video we got coming out is "What Year Is It?" where we're going to find out what year we're in according to the 6,000 years of human history. So that's a very big class, very big to do. We've been working on it for over a week now. So I wanted to bring you guys attention to the Feast of Pentecost, especially for you guys that are new. If all you're doing is studying so that next year you'll have a heads up on this very important festival day. There's a lot of prophecies, around this every year, ever since I forgot the author's name back there in 2014, that, first discovered, some type of correlation between Pentecost and the rapture, or that great awakening, as we like to call it over here, at Hermes Academy. But in that playlist, you're going to hear the relationship between the Feast of Pentecost and the New Covenant. You know, that's another term that people use sometimes. But it is a time of tithes and offerings. And that's going to be important to understand in the video, because you have to understand these are harvest day festivals. And so we have to get used to the harvest day way of doing things. Is different than the man's way of doing things, because he pays us every 2 weeks. We get paid every 2 weeks, some of us every week. So, we'll pay tithes, and offerings every week. But for those on the agricultural schedule, meaning, or, those who are growing food to eat, they are, on this agricultural schedule. There's some Herman stuff in there, in that playlist. And guys, while you are going through these videos, if you see anything that you think is an error, just go ahead and put a timestamp there. You really don't even have to say anything, because when I click on it, it's going to take me right to it. And if it's something that stands out, we'll get it, edited up according to the truth. We realize that we're not infallible, and we have made a few mistakes. So if you discover any of these mistakes in the video, just identify them, let us know, and we'll try to get them cleaned up. More information, guys. I need more information on what I was talking about. More information in my notes here. But I did put in here Jubilees 22. So let's go over there and we'll close it out in Jubilees chapter 6, verse 22. You see that thing down there where it's talking about Barnabas and those 6,000 years. That's for the video that we are working on now. That's about, what year we're in. Because there's a lot of prophecies around the 6,000th year and what's actually going to happen, as far as our Father's 7,000 years of human history, or his 6-day plan or whatever, because we're about to enter day 7. When we get to this 6,000th year, that's when the day changes over, and we enter what the scripture calls the millennial age, or something like that. But we're over here in Jubilees chapter 6, looking at verse 22. It's actually back here in verse 20, which is the verse that contradicts what we've been saying. And it says, "And do thou command the children of Israel to observe this festival in all their generations for a commandment unto them. 1 day in the year, in this month, they shall celebrate the festival." So this is talking about first fruits. You see there in verse 21, it says the Feast of Weeks and the Feast of First Fruits. And, so it's definitely talking about Pentecost here, or Shavuot, as some people like to call it. But notice right there where it says 1 day in the year, in this month. Now, so we're here in Second Pentecost, and so that's why we have this question. Is Second Pentecost a real thing? According to this verse, one could argue and say no. One could argue and say that there is no such thing as Second Pentecost, because Jubilee says 1 in this month, and it's talking about the 3rd month. That's why we're pointing you to this playlist here, so you could read all about and hear all about Pentecost here. But so we just wanted to show you guys those 2 verses. You got Jubilees chapter 6, verse 22, and you have Leviticus chapter 23, verse 15, and to compare to see if this is a legitimate holiday or not. So let's talk about that in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think it's a legitimate holiday? If you do, let's vote on it. Let's see if you if this is a thing, we'll talk about it next year, or if it's not a thing, we'll do like we did this year and punt on it. Just throw up a playlist and say read it at your leisure. But with that, we're going to declare that the bugs have actually won this fight here, and we're going to say shalom.